Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, June 7th. It's 6:19 right now. Market's going to open in about 11 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we'll get started with our session for today. Couple more things here to set up, and we should be good to go. All right, solid. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, so I'll give it a few minutes for people to make their way in. As people join the room, I'm going to go ahead and see if I need to update any of these areas of liquidity. So that looks good. Looks fine. All right. So make sure I'm not missing any here. Yeah, looks fine. 1 hour. Looks good. 30-minute. Looks all right. 15-minute. So one more right here. And the 10-minute. All right, yeah, it looks solid. It's pretty much lined up there. We go over here to the 1 minute. Looks like some of these over here have been moved. It's been broken. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen my profits during Asia session. I'm pretty much just applying these little liquidity pushes. I was talking to Kevin yesterday. You guys have seen Kevin's profit. That's pretty much what he's doing too. So he's been applying it a lot during Asia, and that's what I've been doing too. So if you guys looked at my profits from last night, I used these are the trades that I took. So I made about 2,120 last night off pretty much all of my MFF accounts. So 2120, 2120, 2120, or actually, yeah, 2120, and then my FTMO copier 1,954, and my main account 1,854. So it looks like there was a slippage on the other accounts, which actually worked in my favor. So those are my profits so far from last night. I marked up every trade I took to right here. And first one right there on price hit liquidity. So I mean, typically you can write it to the next area of liquidity, but not really. It's not really that safe during Asia sessions. The volatility is so low. So all right, looks like the majority of you guys are here. So let's see who's here. Morning Miles, morning Peter, morning Surin, morning Funme, morning Marlon, morning Maria, morning Lisa, morning everybody. So today is Tuesday, June 7th, guys. It is 6:23 right now, so the market's going to open in about 7 minutes. We have somewhat of a bias this morning. Looks like it continued to push down into a London session as anticipated, but it looks like the sentiment isn't that strong yet. So it's kind of weakening a bit here. Last night, sentiment was at about 56 or 57% long. So it was indicating it takes sells. Right now, it's still 53, but it's not as strong as it was yesterday. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently down 300 points. So it's pretty far down. And this is why I took sells yesterday. So if you guys look at my profits here, I took sells because the bias was for a sell. We had a sell bias for retail sentiment, a sell bias for fundamentals, and obviously the technicals here were a sell as well. So that's why I took it. If you guys are able to be patient, like yesterday, we didn't have any bias, so we couldn't really take any trades. But if you guys were patient enough and you guys could just wait for that bias to appear, you guys could take sells and not even worry about it because you already know it's going to hit TP. And that's what I try to emphasize for you guys, every day. It's really all about patience and, being able to wait for those perfect entries, which is what I did. And I'm currently up 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, about like almost 10K already for just 2 trades during Asia session, right? And an Asia session is like one of the slowest sessions. That's a discipline that you guys need to have to have the consistency that you guys want. So just, a reminder, you don't have to take trades when there's no bias. When there's a bias, you'll have all the opportunity to take as many trades as you want. So a lot of the times it's better to be conservative. But other than that, I think that's it for this right here. This is the clean chart. Mark up a couple things here. 6:30, 7, and 7:30. I believe there was news this morning as well. Thanks, Peter. Yellen's going to be speaking 35 minutes. So I didn't realize that she was speaking today. Let me refresh this. Nice. Yeah, Kevin said he's up 9K from Asia session. That's awesome. Definitely great work right there. Janae's asking, hey, morning, Janae. Janae's asking, did you make liquidity during Asia session? Yeah, I did. I mean, you can make liquidity in any session. You don't have to make it only during US. You can literally make it 24 hours a day. You just have to draw the liquidity lines. I mean, you're really, all you're doing, Janae, is you're just having the high lows up. Like realistically, that's all you have up, and you just draw the lines there. You don't have to wait for like specific times to draw them. You could draw them 24 hours a day. That's what I do. I draw them all day, and when I see something good, like if I'm just bored sitting on my computer and I draw these lines, and I'm like, okay, there's like a liquidity right here, right? So I'm like, all right, if price pushes above here, I'm probably gonna ride this for a little buy, up until this area right here. If I had a bullish bias, I'll go for like 100 pips right there, lock it a quick 1,000, call it a day. You can do this pretty much all day long. You don't have to just apply it during US session. And that's how like me and Kevin, make these pretty solid profits all throughout the day, because there's really no time period where you have to focus on. So anyways, we have news we had news at 5:30. Right over here. So I'm just gonna mark up news price real quick. 5:30. Right there. And then we have news here at 7 o'clock. So we got news right here at 7 o'clock. And we had news here at 5:30. All right, solid. Let's see if there's any other news today. So there's news. Yes, Yellen's going to speak at 7 o'clock. So that's pretty much all we got for right now. Let me see if there's anything else here. Morning, Purity. Morning, Jessica. Morning, Professor. Morning, Shannon. Morning, Eduardo. Morning, David. Morning, Marco. Morning, Todi. Morning, Lisa. Let's see who else is here. All right, cool. People are still making their way in. Hey, Kit. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Rain. Morning, Jonathan. Morning, everybody. All right, guys. So Kip said the sentiment went up a little bit. Let's take a look. Hopefully it did. All right, perfect. So sentiment is now 54% long. It's still not strong enough, but it is there. So as you can see, we do have a sell bias right now. So for the breakout here, we're looking for a possible sell. The momentum right now is currently a buy, so it's not necessarily going to align with the bias today. So if we get a buy for the breakout, I'm probably not going to take it. If we get a sell, then yeah, I'll probably take it. The reason why I'm looking for that's because our bias here is a sell, right? We have a sell here for retail sentiment, sell here for fundamentals, and the market is now open. So let's see where this goes. We currently have a bullish momentum though. So if we get a strong green candle, that would technically be the breakout. But if we do get a buy, I'm probably not going to take it for a number of reasons. For one, we have sessions right here. Price is probably going to reject right off it. And we have news price up here as well. So it's a risky area to be taking a trade here. But this would technically be the breakout. So, just heads up, if we get a buy here, I'm probably not going to take it. Because we do have areas of rejection right here where I wouldn't want to trade. So big wick right there. You can see where it's rejecting us. It's rejecting directly off this purple line, which is the Asia low from the K2 sessions. We got about 8 seconds left on this candle. You can see the huge wick right here. Definitely no entry off that for the breakout. So no entry right there. I mean, technically this might be considered the breakout. Let me see, like maybe for a late entry, but I mean, I personally wouldn't have taken it because I'm not looking for any buys here. Let me see how it would look right here. This is a bit subjective because as you can see, some people might think this is a strong green candle. I personally don't think it myself. However, the red flags are still there. So a couple red flags right here. Price is near sessions. Also, the overall bias is a sell. So this would technically be the breakout, it looks like. However, it's not one that I would take because of, obvious reasons right here. Price is near sessions and the overall bias is a sell for today, or I mean for right now. Let me check real quick. Let's refresh this. The fundamentals are currently down 245 points. Yeah, I'm definitely not looking for any buys right now. Retail sentiment is currently 54% long. It's just not looking like any good buys right now at the moment. The heat map over here, I can refresh this. So I'm not going to take this trade, obviously. Well, I was going to take it to begin with, but I wouldn't have taken it for a lot of reasons here. Bias is sell. Also, price was right next to sessions. You can see here, price came right back down to open. Basically, opening price right there. And you can see where it's rejecting off. Opening price. The price is just pretty much bouncing back and forth around this area here. It's just a back and forth movement. So you want to be careful trading on this area because price just keeps on bouncing between the sessions. And the opening price right there. And you can see price hit liquidity right here and it's pushed up higher. So, I mean, there's some pushes going on here, but it's not a lot that I would want to take. So let me just mark up where it was again earlier, just to show you guys. It probably hit TP already or close to it. Yeah, it already hit its TP. So this was technically the breakout here. As I mentioned, it was risky because it went against the bias. So, you're gonna get a lot of manipulation in the market. So for example, this is a breakout right here. You're looking for an entry. You confirm the bias was a sell. It's not required, but it's optional. So using this requirement here, I wouldn't have taken the trade because the bias is for a sell. We confirmed the direction momentum. We had a buy signal here, strong green candle right there, and you would have entered the trade at that point if you took it. I didn't take it. It's just too risky. Also because of the red flag. So I'll just clean this up here and then we'll continue moving forward with analyzing any possible entries, which you guys can see how the liquidity hits like right there. And then it pushed up to the next area of liquidity right here, and the last area of liquidity at this point right here. So at that point, I'll probably be looking for any other areas of liquidity, maybe for a drop back down. because prices, odds are price is probably going to come back to opening price again at some point for another retest, especially if the bias is still a sell. One thing that I would be looking out for is this point right here. You guys can see that we have another area of liquidity right here. So if price does come back to open, I'll definitely be looking to take a sell right here for at least 100 pips to catch it to the next level. So this is going to be the next area that I'll be looking for, this area of liquidity. Other than that, let's see. Thanks, Peter. Yeah, Peter said there was positive news an hour ago. So with this news over here at 5:30, that's pretty much, market had a late reaction to the news. Obviously, the market just opened, so whoever traded that, right, your trade balance was positive. They probably had a late reaction because price was dropping, and then it reacted to it on market open, which happens. But all right, so that's it for right now. Let me clean up this chart over here. Go and mark up opening price. Clean this up a little bit. All right. All right, cool. So this is the clean chart. As you guys can see, market opened right down here. It's pushed up. Now it's probably going to be coming back down from this point here because the bias is still sell. Retail fundamentals here are still down 185 points. Retail sentiment is still, it's not a strong sell bias, but it is a sell bias. So I do think price might just come right back down to open from this point here. I don't recommend anyone chase it unless you see something good. But, eventually it'll probably make its way back down to opening price right there. So I'll be looking for any liquidity that builds up around that point. But I mean, currently right now, there isn't any liquidity. Looking at the heat map, it's pretty red. So it's probably going to be coming back down at some point. We don't know exactly when, but I'm sure it'll probably make its way down. Just a reminder, Yellen is speaking at 7 o'clock. She's usually not good for, well, she's not necessarily not good for the economy, but a lot of people don't like her because she's really big on regulation. So with that said, we probably expect price to come back down later on as well. So let's keep an eye out for it. There's no entries available right now, but we'll see if we can find something here. So here is the 10-minute. Too much going on over here. You can see price just broke past the sessions right here. And now it's just starting to create a range. So doesn't look like we're going to have anything here on the 10. So we'll probably keep an eye out here on the 1. Yeah, there's actually a V3 right here. So Mark, you are right. B said I took the V3 for 10 pips, almost stopped me out, so we got scared. So yeah, this was technically the V3 here. The only reason why I didn't really look at it was because this is too big of a candle push right here. So at this point, you might catch some unusual price movement. It's just a bit. Yeah, and then also what Kodi said as well. He said stop loss is less than 300 pips or 30 points. So going over here to the V3 didn't fit the requirements, so that's why I wouldn't have taken it as well. I did see the stop loss was too small, so that's why I didn't want to. But requirement right here, minimum stop loss of 300 pips on the 1 minute. You can see it's slightly below it. I mean, if you really wanted to take it, you could and just set your stop loss to 300 pips. But yeah, there's just a couple things that didn't satisfy the requirements there. Yeah, exactly. Kodi said it was at 26, almost there. So you could have just extended it if you really wanted to. Let's see. Professor said, isn't there a potential 10-minute snipe? Let me go check that real quick. Go over here to the SR. Yes, you were correct, Professor. There is a potential snipe right there. The only problem with this here is that it's right at the session, so that's why it's a bit risky. But yes, you are correct. There is a snipe that's because it's like right at the session. So it's still gonna be a bit of an issue, but yes, there is a snipe that is pending right there. If this candle closes in the next 40 seconds, then yes, there would be a snipe there. Maybe I'll take it for, a partial little move, not the entire move, because obviously it's right at the sessions, but yes, this would be the snipe entry right there. So maybe I'll just take a couple trades with in and out of it. It's kind of close. So it's right at the news price. It's like right at it. And then the sessions is right here as well. So it's a bit too close to a lot of areas of rejection where I wouldn't want to take the trade. So that's why I'd be a bit careful, because it's like literally at the sessions and news price right here, Professor. So yeah, that would be the snipe right there. A bit of a risky move because it's just like, it's like right at the session. If prices drop below it, then maybe I would want to take it, but I think right now it's still kind of risky because you can see how it bounces back and forth around that area. Maybe I'll just kind of dip into it here and there. If I see price coming down, like if I see it break below the sessions, then maybe I'll hop in and then write it down to the opening price right here. But you can see where price is rejecting from, right? It's rejecting directly off the sessions, and that's exactly where price is right here on the 10. It's literally at the sessions. So that's why I find it to be a bit risky. And you can see how price is swinging right back up. You're going to go into some drawdown if you entered too late, or if you entered at the wrong time. That's why I wouldn't want to take it. So guys, these red flags here still apply to all time frames, whether it be the 10-minute, 1 minute, 5 minute, 1 second time frame, any time frame really. You still want to look at the sessions here. You can't really see it like as clearly on the 10 because these are 10-minute candles, but if you go over to the 1, you can see exactly where it bounced off of. And then again, right here, as price comes back down, it's right at news price as well. So I be a bit careful taking these, but I'll just wait. I gotta be a bit patient. I don't want to fumble into it, but we'll keep an eye on it, Professor. So we'll keep an eye on it. If I see anything here on the lower time frames, then I'll hop into it for a quick move. But right now, it's just like in an area where I don't want to be in a trade. Because the drawdown here is pretty nasty, especially if you enter around these points where we already anticipate it to bounce off. Let's see if there's anything else here. Let's see if there's anything here. All right, so price just keeps coming back down and testing the news price right here. I mean, my key point is going to be right here. Like if price does get down to this point, I think price will definitely drop even further below opening, because this is where liquidity is sitting, unless liquidity gets built up somewhere around here as well, which could happen as well if price keeps bouncing around this area. So if price comes down a little bit and bounces back up and comes back down a little bit, it'll create another area of liquidity right here because it'll create a new low. And if that happens, then perfect. But right now, it's just not there yet. So there it goes. It drops back down, but it's probably going to come back down and test the sessions right here. Just don't have enough space for me to take, even a small little push, even if I was going for 100 pips or so. All right, so nothing right here right now. Let's take a look at the sentiment to see if it's changing at all. Sentiment is still at 54%, I believe. It's playing. Let's refresh it one more time. For some reason, it's not loading. But we're just going to assume that it's still a little bit bearish. Fundamentals are still very red. Heat map is still pretty red here as well. These are starting to change. Salesforce and Visa, they're turning red. This still hasn't updated. But looking over here on IG, it's still 54. So I'm assuming when this does load up, it'll still be around that point. So here we go again, as price bounces in between the news price and the sessions right here. It's just back and forth. Price will come, retest, come down, test again, bounce back and forth, etc. Yeah. Yeah, now Tony said 54% long, Peter said 56% short. It's still not very strong though. We need that to be above like 60%, 60 or above 65% ideally, but above 60% is okay. So it's not a very strong sell bias, but we do have a sell bias for the most part. Also, what I see happening right here is I think price might get propped up a bit before Yellen speaks. Yellen's going to speak right here at 7 o'clock. So when she does speak, I'm expecting price to come back down. So I'll keep watching for that because we typically do have, a price drop whenever she speaks because she's going to talk about a lot of regulation. With her speaking, she's going to be discussing the inflation news and updates. Just, a reminder, we do have inflation news this Friday. So we have CPI, core CPI, both inflation news right here this Friday. So she's probably going to give us a heads up with regard to interest rates, whatever type of regulations they plan on implementing. Not good stuff, obviously, because we're going into a recession. So we could expect price to likely, drop further. So just an FYI. And I'm sure you guys would have known anyway, it's pretty obvious. So again, right here, you can see this candle, look where it rejected off, directly off news price. This is why we stay away from news price and we stay away from opening price, sessions, etc., because you typically get a lot of market manipulation around these points. You can see how price just keeps getting manipulated whenever it comes down to here, right? Price will come down, bounce off, have a big push to the upside, come back down, bounce off, break through, bounce off the next one, etc. It just keeps bouncing off these structures that were produced, based off the news and whatnot. So another area of liquidity right there. Over here and just update this a little bit. That right there. All right, so there's technically another V3 right here, not one that I would take because it's right at news price, but this is another V3 that is setting up right here. It's like literally right at the news price though. So again, requirements for the V3. Actually, no, it doesn't fit the requirements because it just spiked up. So you need at least 300 pip stop loss. So it was slightly, it was again, not exactly at that point, but it would have fit the requirements if it did close below. It's not really much for us to, I wouldn't take the trade here. It's right at the sessions. DeAndre said gas price is high as fuck. No, it really is though. Tody's asking, Sean, did you ever test it if it's good to mark up London Open on the charts? I'm making it since 10 days is very price have. Yeah, no, you could do that. I haven't done it myself. Like I haven't tested it or I haven't really used it, but it doesn't work too, Tony. Like it does provide structure. So you could do that. Maybe I'll probably is my brother Justin. My brother is not here, so maybe I could ask him to add that to the sessions indicator. We'll just add opening price as well. I mean, we could do that too, but we'll see. I don't know if it's going to work out the same because each candle opens a bit different, but similar like with how the sessions work for different time frames. But I'll see if you can, what you can do. Maybe you can set that up because yeah, it is important. I mean, any session opening is important. Session opening and probably session close too. It's going to be as important as the sessions that we use. So as you guys can see right here, again, this is a reason why I didn't want to take the trade because you can see where price is rejecting off. It's rejecting directly off this pink line, which was news price at 5:30 this morning. And you can see where it's not, you don't really have a sure shot idea that it's going to hit TP. That's why I don't take trades like this. Like, even though this will probably hit TP, it's still considered, a bit of a risky move because when price does reach these sessions right here, You know, this could be the difference between you hitting your TP or you hitting your stop loss if price does end up getting manipulated, which is likely to happen. So just be patient. I mean, wait for, I'm really just waiting for it to come down here, because this is like, if prices come below here, I'm almost like 100% sure it's going to hit TP. Right here, I'm still iffy. I don't feel good about it because the sessions is the news price is right there, and then the sessions is right here as well. We got the pink line and we got the purple line. Down here, we're pretty much out in the open. So if I take a trade down here, odds are I'm probably gonna hit my TP and I won't have to think twice about it. So other than that, I mean, we're pretty much just waiting for the most part. There's nothing to take here necessarily. So I'm just gonna take this off so that we clean it up a little bit. And we'll see where price is going. I want to see if there's any other lows that are produced so that we have another area of liquidity below. But yeah, that's not a trade that I would have taken for this specific reason right here. See if the sentiment has changed at all. I don't think there's any other news today, right? No. Well, there's news later at 10, but it's not during our live session, so we should be fine. Sentiment's the same. Fundamentals are still pretty bearish. Heat map is still pretty red overall. Yeah, it's pretty red. And you can see price is just price is pretty much ranging. It's bouncing between the news price right here and this high. It's going back and forth until it, you know, really determines its direction here. All right, so price broke above here, and again, that's why I wouldn't have taken the V3 because it bounced directly off the news price right here. So here goes, price pushes higher. If price pushes up to this point, price might come up and test. So this is one thing to look out for. There's liquidity sitting right here. So if price does hit that point, it might come up and test the sessions. But at that point, Yellen will be speaking, and then price might just come right back down to opening price. Let's see if it creates an area of liquidity right here. All right, so it looks like there is an area of liquidity being built right there. I think this is very risky, but if price hits this point, which it did, I think it's going to come and test this area up here. I wouldn't take it though, because obviously sentiment is a sell. I wouldn't go against fundamentals and retail sentiment when they're both pointing towards a sell. So you might just see price come back down. It might not even come up and hit this area over here. So actually, yeah, this area right here is going to be invalidated because price broke above it. But what you might want to see here is if price does come up for the retest at, let me just leave that line there for right now. The retest at this point. So if price does come back up here, then maybe it'll push up, but I don't know if it'll push up that strong because the sentiment is, well, not just sentiment, but overall bias is a sell. So I only take liquidity pushes in the direction of bias, because then I know where price is going. If you counter trend trade, you know, good luck, because it'll hit sometimes, but a lot of times you'll get faked out. So here we go with the retest of this area. If price does push through here, then I do expect it to maybe push up a little higher to this right here, and it did break through. So we'll see if it ends up pushing up to this point. But I wouldn't take it. Whenever I trade, I only trade in the direction of bias. Like you can get lucky here and maybe hit your like small TP, but you know, I'm not in the business to get lucky. I want to make sure that I'm going to win the trade. That's why I only take trades that I know I'm for sure going to hit. So even if you wanted to go for a little quick liquidity push, which would be like right there, quick 100 pips, which is doable. This looks like it could happen. It also looks like it come down and hit your stop loss as well before it comes up and hits it, because the bias is a sell. Jennifer is asking, how many challenges verifications did you take for you to get funded the first time around? I passed it on my first try, Jennifer. It's not really that difficult to pass, guys. I mean, like a lot of people put a lot, like a big emphasis on like passing challenges. It's not really that hard. If you know how to trade, it's not hard because you're just doing the same thing with a bigger account. If you know risk management and you know how to trade, it's not a big deal to pass a challenge. Anyone can pass a challenge. I mean, you can pass a challenge and you get lucky and pass a challenge. It's but if you know how to manage your risk, like if you're really using proper risk management with your stop loss and lot sizes, and you're profitable, then it's not that difficult to pass these. But yeah, quick answer to your question, Jennifer, is I passed it on my first try. So like I first did FTMO like in May of I think like a year or yeah 2 years ago, and then in July I bought my Tesla Model X because I passed my challenge and I got my first payout. So that's when I got the car because I passed it right away. I did the challenge during May, verification done in June, got funded, got my first payout in July, bought a car. That was a timeline for the first challenge. And then from there, I added another account. All right, so looking at this thing over here, guys, I mean, you can see it's kind of messy, but the liquidity there ended up not pushing up just yet. What you might see here is another area of liquidity getting created around this area over here. Yeah, I'm not sure if you were around that time, Jennifer, like when I first started doing FTMO. You probably weren't because you would have been, familiar with like when I took it. But yeah, as long as you guys stay consistent and don't take dumb trades. That's really what it is, guys. Like if you guys ever look back at your trades, so if you guys ever fail your challenges, go back and just review like why did you fail the challenge, right? Because a lot of times, a lot of people will do good initially at the start of the challenge, and then they get too cocky and they start taking dumb trades, and then they blow the challenge, or they overtrade, or they revenge trade, and that's usually the issue. Um, if you can just rinse and repeat the same process every day, like I do here on the live, you should have no problem because you're only looking for these quality trades here. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, Jennifer. Yeah. So you weren't around that time. It's I did it like before summer. That same year though. So that same year, like a couple months before, I think around that time when you rejoined, that's when I started my second account or third account, or actually just my second account. Now that I remember. And I wish I knew about it before. I think FTMO has been around for a while. It just, a lot of people weren't using it. All right, so there's a V3 right here, what B just mentioned there. Totally missed it. Let me see if I could hop in for maybe a late entry here. So I did hop in for a quick 100 pips. I think it hit my TP already. Yeah. So I FOMO'd into this move here, but I already knew it was going to drop. So that's why I took it. So this is a V3 here. I just took it for 100 pips. It hit my TP already like within a few seconds. It's probably going to hit TP at this point. Thanks, B, for the heads up. The thing it happened so fast that I missed it. It would have been nice to catch the whole thing, but I'm glad I locked in about 1,100 off that move there. The only reason I was really inclined to take this is because it's so close to Yellen speaking. I think it's going to hit full TP at that point. Set an alert here. If you guys are in this position, great. If not, I wouldn't FOMO into it because when the news comes up a little later, it might be a bit risky. Why don't my alerts? It's weird. Let's see if I can refresh this. Man, I can't even set my alerts right here. There we go. One minute. B3. So we'll follow it and we'll see where it goes. I do think it's going to hit TP because it's going to hit it before it reaches the sessions below here. So I think it should be able to make it. Let me just take a screenshot of the profits so far. Yeah, so my accounts are sitting pretty solid for the day so far. And there you go. It's probably gonna hit TP right about now. There you go. Full TP off the So if you guys took it, great work. If you guys didn't, it's okay. More trades will come, but it just hit full TP right there. It's getting really close to news, so you probably want to sit out and wait for it to pass. Yellen's going to be speaking, so it's going to be a bit risky for us to enter trades at the moment. That's another reason why I wanted it right away, because it I don't want to get caught in the volatility or manipulation that might be. That's weird. My MFF only gave me 50 bucks. That's weird. Huge slippage on the MFF. I don't know what happened there. All my other accounts gave me 1,100. My MFF only gave me 50 bucks. I'll show you guys right now. Taking screenshots of my profits. Yeah, that's weird. All my MFFs had weird slippage. The fuck? Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, Lisa said my MFF isn't letting me edit my TPs or stop losses on my phone right now. Something's up. So something's wrong with MFF right now, it seems like, guys. It probably didn't allow me to exit the trade on time or enter the trade on time, which is annoying, but yeah, whatever. Let me just give you guys a little update here, and I'll give you guys a little update on that. So I think this is like 360. And I hate when that happens. It always happens when like it always happens when like, you know, it's because Yellen is speaking. There's probably going to be connectivity issues, right? Like quote unquote connectivity issues. This is why you guys want to avoid news, because whenever big news happens like this, brokers usually tend to manipulate the platform. They won't let you enter trades. They won't let you exit trades. It just happens, right? It's part of the game. It's like the cost of doing business. That's why I typically don't trade during news, and I don't trade during like certain times, like NFP. I don't trade those things, because that's where you'll get a lot of issues with your platform. If you guys have noticed that in the past, whenever there's a big news event coming on, like your thing will freeze up, or it won't let you enter trades, or the spread gets really wide. You know, it's just dirty tactics that brokers use, and you can't really do anything about it, because it'll happen like during certain periods, but it doesn't happen all the time. So they're like, okay, it was just an isolated incident, but it coincidentally, it happens whenever news comes up and stuff like that. So let me just take this off the chart. So I'm going to wait for Yellen to speak. Kenny, I don't know if you're here, or if you have that link. I know you always have link for the videos. That's why I'm asking you. If you do, great. If not, it's okay. I'll check it out on YouTube. Yeah, Lisa said it keeps saying busy under the trade section. It sounds like they're trying to screw you, Lisa. Unfortunately, I'm hoping you can pull out of it. It sounds like they're having connectivity issues, but you know, coincidentally, it happened right when Yellen is supposed to speak, which I don't think that's a coincidence at all. She's speaking here at 7. All of a sudden, the market, I mean, your broker messes up at 7. Something's fishy. Yes, there is a V1 right here. Thanks for identifying that. There is a V1 right there. It's bouncing around a lot though. Rick said my MFF is fine, but they know I suck, so they probably don't care. All right, so yeah, I'm not in this V1 right here. I'm thinking about maybe entering it later or late if it does come back down. You can see the high here actually got reestablished. It just kind of pushed up a little bit. So now that it's, you know, pushing back down, maybe I'll enter it later, but I'm not in the trade right now. Let's see, is Yellen speaking yet? Not sure. Well, I mean, she should be speaking soon. Let me see if I can pull up YouTube real quick, see if Yellen is on the mic yet. So looks like she might be speaking right now. So now that Yellen's speaking, I might just sit out the market, guys. I don't think I'm going to be taking anything right now. It's just too risky to hop into anything. So yeah, she's already, well, she hasn't spoken, but I mean, basically she's going to start speaking soon. The hearing did start though. So I'm probably going to just sit tight. You know, I wouldn't have taken this trade here because it's right at the news at news. Let me go here and just mark up news, which was right here. All right, so I guess we just gotta wait for this to pass. So it says live Treasury Secretary Yellen testifies before Congress on FY 2023 budget. So they're basically discussing the budget for next year, which I don't think is gonna be good. We'll see. All right, anyway, so here's a profit that I locked in so far today. Thanks, Hugo. Appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, here are my profits for, you know, obviously the day so far. Currently up, this is my main account. You can see the green strips here because it does hit my TP. Locked in a total of 2,921. So that's my main account. Here's my FTMO copier locked in 3,221. All wins right there. Here's my MFF, a bit different. The slippage right here that I was just discussing, I don't know what happened here, but I locked in 50 bucks. It's weird because my FTMO, I locked in 1,000, my FTMO copier, 1,300, and then my MFF, 50 bucks. Total profit of 2,170. Same with this one over here, 2,170, and then my third account, same thing. So profit session prior to Yellen. Cool. All right, guys. So I'm probably gonna sit tight. I'll be here on the live. I mean, obviously, I'll stay on the live with you guys, but I don't know if I'm gonna be taking any trades because I don't want to get caught in this market manipulation right here as Yellen speaks. If I see, you know, good entries, like if I see liquidity or whatever, then yeah, maybe I'll hop into trades. But I think right now I'm probably just gonna sit tight and wait a bit because it's just too risky of an entry, or it's just too risky to go in and out of trades because whatever she says can easily spike price up or down. You can see right here already there's manipulation going on with the market. She hasn't even started speaking yet, but she will be speaking shortly. So I'll be looking for areas of liquidity here. Maybe write it down as it continues to push down because I think it's going to push down to open price at some point. Because I don't see anything good happening. The reason for that is because they're going to be discussing the budget for 2023. You know, just reminding you guys we're going to a recession. So if we are in a recession now, the recession is still going to be present in 2023. So I don't expect anything good here to really play out with whatever they're discussing. It's they're going to have to talk about a lot of cuts, a lot of more higher taxes, et cetera, and interest rates going up. So I don't see it being a good thing for the economy for whatever she has to say, really. So I'm expecting a sell, or I'm expecting price to come back down. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for any buys here. There's actually another V3 right here that came up. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a V3 here. It's kind of big and it's kind of too far because it's so close to the it's gonna have to cut into the sessions right there. Or not sessions, but the news and sessions actually. So there's news price right there. And then there is these sessions right here. So yeah, that V3 is going to be too risky for, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, Peter said maybe another 40 billion for Ukraine. Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens when she starts speaking. But you definitely want to be a bit careful with entering any trades right now. So we'll be watching that. Sentiment here hasn't really changed very much. I think the sentiment's going to start to shift down because I know a lot of people do understand that whenever she speaks, it's usually not good. So I think people are going to start hopping onto the sell side, or they're going to close out of their buys because they don't really expect price to really, obviously go in their direction. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently 171 or 168 points in the red. Looking over here at the heat map, it's changed a little bit. Not too much, but yes, it has changed a little bit. Yeah, I mean, other than that, not much else here. But you guys can see that this V3 it's just there's too many risky areas here. Price may drop a little bit, but if it does drop, it's gonna it might bounce off news price right here, or or there's two news prices actually, and then obviously the sessions down here. So see where it goes from here. Right, as Yellen starts speaking it, they're still making their opening statement, so they haven't really started just yet. There you guys, price makes its way down to the news price right here. But when it does make its way down, it might bounce off. So this is why I don't recommend people enter it, because price can easily just bounce off. It'll do that or it'll break below, one or the other. But either or, it's probably gonna be risky. So right there, it did break below it. One of two things will happen. It'll probably keep dropping, or it'll bounce off this one right here. So again, same situation right here. Price will either bounce off it or it'll continue dropping. I think once Yellen gets on the mic, it'll start dumping even further. So it's maybe something to keep an eye out for him. But again, right there, it's right at the same thing. Let's see. Rick said I just took the sell off a 10-minute red pivot. Nice, Rick. So it looks like, let's see, Rick is looking on the 10-minute here. Okay, so yeah, he took it as it pushed up, retraced, and then he caught it on its way back down. Nice. So the V3 here did hit its TP. So if you guys took it, great. I didn't take it, so I'm obviously not going to count it. But it did hit its TP right there. So looks pretty nice. And then there's also a V3 that is pending over here on the 10, which, I mean, looks good too. However, it's going to be right at the session. It's going to be a big push, so it'll probably end up hitting eventually, but it's kind of a toss up right here because it's going to have to cut through the sessions. But I mean, we'll see. If Yellen starts speaking, then who knows? It'll probably just come dumping all the way back down. Oh, there we go. There's Yellen. So as soon as the camera went on her, it looked like price just took a dump. Going over to the one, yeah, price starting to dump as soon as they put the spotlight on her. So we'll see where it goes. Rick said you always jinx my trades. It should have hit your TP though. Rick, didn't she take it from there? Because if you took it from the red line, you would have been in profit. Or I mean, I don't know if you're holding it for a big push. Wait, how to hit your stop loss? Because if you entered from this point, it didn't go into any drawdown. Oh, you moved it in profit. I see. You got scared. See, Rick, you can't be scared, man. You gotta let the gambler in you play. Joking. Don't do that. Not today. Yeah, and the issue right here is that, and I would want to go back to open as well, like you did. The only problem is that there's a lot of areas here where price can bounce from. There's news price, and then there's the sessions right here. Rick said, just like dating, I'm taking what I can get. Yeah, no, that would be nice though, catching it back to open, but there's a session right here. It's hard to see because there's a liquidity that's kind of blocking it, but there is a session that's right there. However, I do see price still dropping further. It's just, again, it's right at news price. So you're going to get some of this back and forth movement. There still is no direction set here. You can see price kind of just going back and forth from where it originally was. Trying to see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Not really. So Yellen is now speaking, or she's just nodding. I don't think she started yet. Still asking her questions. All right, let's see. Hey, Steve, morning. Yeah, whatever Rick said. Rick, Steven, you missed the breakout. We averaged 20K. Yeah, you're just 45 minutes late, but it's all good. John said twice it dumped when the camera panned on Yellen. Yeah, so you can see prices coming down pretty heavy. As I mentioned, Yellen is not good for the market. So she's big on regulation. You know, whenever she speaks, or even when the camera just goes on her, and then the camera's back on her, look where price is at, it's dumping. She's starting to speak now, actually. So she hasn't started really making any statements. She's just responding to their good mornings, basically. But anyways, let me take this off. Again, price is still bouncing around news price here. Obviously, there's not really much going on. Price just bouncing around these areas. All right. So I guess one area to look out for would be maybe not this point. You can see where price rejected off. So this green candle right here, price rejected directly off this purple line, which is the Asia low. So I would be more careful for the sessions rather than these news price. News price is still important, but the sessions here are more important. I would be very careful trading around the sessions because this is where you typically get the harder bounces. You can see prices pretty much just ping ponging. It's going down to the sessions. It bounced off here, pushed right back up to news price right here. Now it's pushing back down. You're just getting back and forth movement. What I would like to see here is price maybe drop a little bit to this point and then come back up. Because if we get this, if we get price come down and then come back up, then we will have another area of liquidity that builds right there. If we have an area of liquidity right here, and I can see it dump from this point, like if and when it hits it down to open price, then maybe this area of liquidity right here. So looks solid. Steven said, when I don't take a breakout, it always reaches full TP. LOL. We don't get enough breakout entries with bias. It's I want to be safe now. Yeah, I mean, that might be your best option, Steven, because the thing is, when you were only taking a breakout, you like had like the whole 3 months of no losses. When you started doing different things, that's when you started to blow your account. So I think you just got to focus on like what you're really good at, which it seems like it's the breakout. That's like your strategy. That you're really good at. So what I would recommend is that you just master what you're good at or stick to what you're good at. No, you definitely didn't trade the same way, Steven. Steven said I traded the same way, but I had bad luck. If I pull up your trades here, Steven, you did the complete opposite. So like back in like early May, you're taking one trade a day, right? You're taking one trade and you're hitting your TP every time, one trade or two trades. And I'll show you when you started to mess up. You're taking like 10 trades. I'm like, what are you doing, Steven? See, look, you started taking like, where was it? You're going from taking like 1 to 2 to maybe 3 trades. And then you started taking like 10 trades. So like you definitely were not trading the same way you were before. See, every day you took like 20 trades here, which some days you would get lucky, but before you would take like just one trade. If I go back to like, what was it? Right here, 1,000 a day. 1,000 a day. So this is one trade, Steven. One trade in 10 or 20 trades, there's like a huge difference. You're definitely doing something different. There's only one trade for a breakout. There's not 20 breakouts in one day. See, you were 100% doing something different. You just got to be real with yourself, Steven. You can't just like think that you were doing the same thing, because you were definitely not doing the same thing. Just go back to what you were doing before. You did the breakout only, and yeah, Steven said I took one breakout entry, but it reached stop loss. I don't know which one yeah, because you weren't trading with bias, which typically that's what you should be doing. Typically said he took one breakout, reached stop loss due to no bias. That's why I trade only with the bias. That's just something that you have to implement. Let's see if there's anything else right here. So there's profits here by other people. Let me just mark up everything over here real quick. Move this down, send this to the other group. Okay, so going over here to the groups, let's see, we have some profits here by Dre. So Dre over here locked in a total of 633 for the day. Nice work, Dre. He said just past phase 1 for MFF, 10-minute sniper partial move. Nice work, Dre. Lisa over here, she locked in a total of 3,405 for the day. So nice work, Lisa, as well. Scrolling down further, these are my profits. I locked in quite a bit. Going to the next page over here, we have Al over here. Al locked in a total of 3,855 for the day. Nice work, Al. We have Kenny over here. He locked in a total of 2,520. So great work right there, Kenny. Kevin over here locked in a total of 6,628. Nice work, Kevin. Again, no losses at all. And then we have Kenny again down here with a total profit of 2,706. So nice work right there, Kenny. Other than that, Emelzon, he said yellow on my last day of MFF challenge was down 16K, and then he got a free retry. So nice work right there, Emelzon. Great work on the recovery. He made a total of 16,390. So he pretty much just took every trade he could see, and he made it back to his free retry. So great work right there, Emelzon. This is key here. If you guys start to make mistakes, or if you guys get into a hole, the recovery is really what shows your persistence and consistency. Because the thing is, if you can trade like this every time, you can make pretty big profit every time. It's really just trusting the strategies and letting them run. That's pretty much what Emelzon did here. He was down 16K, and he made it literally all back within one day to get his free retry. So good luck on your second attempt, Emelzon. But I'm glad that you got the free retry, so you didn't have to pay for another challenge. Other than that, hey Glenn, how's it going? I just saw your message right here. Kenny over here at 2,500. His other account 2,700. Patricia over here as well. Patricia, she said a profit for today on one account. She locked in a total of 1,620. Nice work, Patricia. Her second account over here locked in 1,488. Great work right there too, Patricia. And her third account, she locked in 1,620. So some pretty good profit across all your accounts so far, Patricia. So good work there. Barack over here as well. Barack said, good day, Sean. Closing the day at my 50K at D2. So he locked in a total of about a little over 2,000 for his account here for 2 days so far. So nice work right there, Barack. And let's see. Ed over here, he said he missed the breakout, but he caught a few other small moves, locked in a total of 1,442. So nice work right there, Ed. And other than that, so I'll put the list up later. I think other than that, that's about it. I don't see any other profits here. If you guys have profits to send in, feel free. We'll add them to the list to be posted later today after the session. But I think that's it for right now. Just a reminder, Yellen is speaking, so that's why I'm being a bit careful with taking any trades. I know there's another V3 right here, but again, as I mentioned, it's a bit of a risky move because Yellen is speaking. Also, it doesn't fit the parameters here. We would need this to be at least 300 pips, so I don't think it's one that I would personally want to take myself. Yellen is speaking though, so I wouldn't be surprised if it drops further, but it's just too risky of a move because it doesn't fit all of the parameters for the strategy. Yeah, you're right, Alexander. I just saw your message. You said V3 pending. There is a V3 there, but it doesn't fit all the requirements. So main requirement here that's not being met is the stop loss requirement. Which, I mean, if you guys really want to enter, you can do this, like how I marked it up. I know it's like close to it, but not close enough. It's about like 90 pips less than where it needs to be. But if you really want to enter, you can still enter. Just make sure you have wide enough stop loss to cover the spread, because the spread does get kind of funky, So, yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back down, maybe comes out and tests the news price again. Or maybe he'll get some weird movement like this. This is why you want to be careful with taking these entries here. All right, so other than that, Yellen is speaking right now. Let me see, the fundamentals right now are currently still down 167 points. Looking over at the heat map over here, heat map is still pretty red, I'm assuming. It's red for the most part. Sentiment over here is currently %53 long. There just isn't very much of a strong direction right now with regard to a lot of these things here. So I'll probably just sit tight. See if I can find anything over here. No, don't take this trade, Steven. I literally said not to take it. Steven, you got to pay attention, bro. Steven said, I'm using demo, so I'll take this V trade. V3 said, it's V3, but I said not to take it because the requirement wasn't met right there, Steven. So, Steven, this is why like you make mistakes because you're not paying attention. You got to like listen to when I say to take a trade or not to. Also, we're not taking trades because Yellen is speaking right now. We're in the middle of news, Steven. So I wouldn't have taken that trade. You just got to pay attention, Steve. I think that's the main thing. I think you kind of get distracted sometimes and you don't pay attention and you take a trade even though I say not to. And that's kind of why you keep making the mistakes. Just listen to the analysis, Steven. If you want to play with your demo, feel free to play around with it. But the thing with, I feel like you keep developing bad habits with entering trades and when knowing to enter a trade. So I think you got to go back and study the video, Steven. Like the thing here, I marked it up over here. I marked it up and I drew a line there showing that, the requirements weren't met. So, and I think this is only, this is good for your own benefit if you actually understand what you're doing rather than kind of blindly entering trades. Because yeah, sure, you can get lucky, but once you get funded or once you get to the next level, you're going to run into some issues. Okay, so price is pushing up. I'm not sure if Yellen said something or I'm pretty sure she did say something that was positive here. I'm not listening to what they're talking about, but during her speech or whatever, her response, price just like spiked up right here. It hit liquidity, then it pushed up, and then here it's bouncing off the sessions. So this is why you really don't want to trade. I know a lot of people try to trade during like speeches, like when Biden's speaking or when Yellen's speaking or when Powell's speaking. But a lot of the times here, it a lot of the times here, you'll still get like these weird movements. Even though we do anticipate price to come down, you'll still get these weird movements to the upside. I'm not sure what they discussed, but try to read what they said here. So they're talking about raising taxes or not raising taxes. So with that said, obviously that's going to affect the market directly. I'm just reading the subtitles here. So they're discussing taxes regarding an increase in taxes or stimulus. So obviously they're probably talking about stimulus to push price up right here. But you're really just gambling. When you're trading news like that, you don't know what's going to happen. Like whatever response they say can easily spike price up or spike price down. That's why I probably would just sit out. Well, I mean, I am going to sit out the market, but I would recommend that people just sit out the market. Oh, thanks, Eduardo. So Eduardo is listening to it. He said she said it was a good time to invest. So that's probably why this, spiked up right here. And a lot of these movements are just based off whatever her responses are to their questions. All right, Janae, we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, if you guys don't need to trade right now, which I'm pretty sure majority of you guys don't have to trade right now, like you guys aren't like pushed to pressed for trading, then you should probably just sit it out. That's my 2 cents. Ricky said, Rick said, my bookie tells me the same thing as Yellen said, right? Tells you just keep gambling. But yeah, price is still pushing up right here. Let's see what they're talking about now. So she's basically giving her game plan. Cover costs. Bring down some costs. So she's saying good things about her reasons and good things for the economy right now, which is probably why price is pushing up. Eventually, she's going to have to talk about interest rates and stuff like that, and it'll probably just come back down. But yeah, let me see. Anyways, if you guys have any questions or you guys want me to cover anything, feel free to put it in the chat. I don't think there's going to be any good trades to take right now, so I'm just going to sit out the market. But if you do have something that you guys want me to cover, just let me know. It's 7:32 right now, so it's still like about 28 minutes till 8. If you don't see any good movement here, then we might just call it a day a little bit early today because I don't want you guys to be FOMOing and taking trades. I could already see a lot of people thinking to take some buys here because you can see pushing up. But my recommendation is to not chase these moves here, because as soon as you guys enter the buy, price is probably going to come right back down. And I'm sure that's happened to a lot of you guys because it's happened to me a lot of times in the past where I chase these pushes and then all of a sudden price just comes all the way back down as soon as you decide to enter. So just be smart about whatever trades you guys decide to take, whether it be following any of the strategies or not. Realistically, there isn't anything for us to take here anyways. Gallo said she was on Harry Potter series, right? Yeah, she can pass for it. She's who's she, Dumbledore? Anyways, let me see what you guys sent over here. So Vincent sent in his profits. He locked in. He said, I set my buy stop at 32, entered at 32.802. Yeah, it probably executed late, Vincent. So Vincent over here sent in his profits. He locked in a total of 414 off this one. And then his other one over here, he locked in a total of 567. So nice work right there, Vincent. I know it sucks. It probably executed late, but profit's profit. So I would take it and run, especially on a day like this. Yeah, you probably got caught in some slippage where it just like shot right past it. Charles over here as well locked in a total of $600 off this account. Nice work, Charles. Emilzon, oh yeah, no, for sure. So Emilzon said, I thought I'd failed yesterday, but realized MFF has a 12% drawdown, not 10% like FTMO. MJ said she's that prisoner from Azkaban Beast, the flying bird things. Yeah, I forgot. The last time Yellen was speaking, I don't remember, or Tommy, I don't know if Tommy's here now. Someone sent a picture of a bird, and it kind of did look like her. I forgot. Someone here sent something in, but it did really look like her. Anyways, price is still pushing up right here, guys. I still don't recommend you guys chase this because they can easily go from one topic to another. Or I don't recommend anyone trade at all right now, unless like you really have a good understanding as to like where price is likely, where it's going to go. I think it's going to be too risky to enter anything. Let's see. MJ said, bro, Google buck beak. Oh, so MJ said that this is Yellen right here. Buck beak. I can kind of see it now because of her hair. Yeah, buck beak. See if we get back to Yellen over here. All right, let's see if I got anything else that I'm missing. Yeah, there she goes. It kind of does look like her because of her hair. Spot on, MJ. All right, so price is still pushing up pretty heavy. I don't know what they're talking about, but price is pushing up pretty heavy. And then it is David's asking, hey Sean, have you looked at or tested your potential new forex strategy lately? Yeah, I'm not sure if you were in the chat yesterday. I posted it over here. Some more profit from Kenny over here. Nice work, Kenny. 2,700 for the day. Great work. So yeah, David, over here, I posted the trade that I took and the results. So like this is the one that I took yesterday for that EJ trade, the Forex. I'm basically just applying the same concepts that I use here for US30 on Forex pairs that have high biases. This had a strong bullish bias, so I took the buy there when we had an intraday entry. Basically, a green momentum signal matched with a trend meter green here. You could have taken any buy here, and they all would have hit full TP. But that's the one that I took. And here are my profits from that. I locked in a total of, what is it? 683, pretty much all wins here. I took about a couple trades here. They're all wins. The red right here is just commission, but all of my trades that I've taken using that strategy here have hit full TP. So I'm just applying the intraday strategy on the 1 hour whenever there's a strong bias. So that's what I've been doing. I haven't had any losses, so it's actually really good. So who knows, maybe I'll come back and bring the signal service because I could just call signals off that. I mean, if I really wanted to, I'm probably not going to do it because I don't want to do signals. But the strategy works really good. You just need to look for an intraday entry. Like this right here, another intraday entry, right? Bullish signal, trend mirrors green, take that for a buy, straight TP. Again, right here, another one right here. We had a bullish bias, or we don't have a bullish bias right now, but I'm just saying if you had a bullish bias, you can take like whatever trades in that direction that fit and probably work out pretty well. Eduardo sent a picture of an owl. Yeah, no, that does kind of look like Yellen as well. Oh, she does. Yeah, no, definitely. And she's also wearing a white jacket, so it does fit the resemblance. Patricia said, Sean, signing off. Nothing good can come from trading when she's speaking. Thank you. Definitely, Patricia. So we'll see you tomorrow morning. Yeah, David, I mean, if you want to play around with it, I started opening this right here. So I have the IG sentiment for all the pairs here. Basically what I do is I'll just look down this list. If I see it's like heavy in one direction, like 60, probably like higher, maybe like 65. So like right here, UJ is 73% bearish. So this is bullish right here. So if I go to UJ, I mean, I would need a retracement, but you can see right here, we have a bullish signal. So buy signal, trend meter is green. Whenever I see that, I'll just take the buy there, full TP, right? Again, down here, another one, same thing, bullish signal, green trend meter, take a buy right there, full TP. You know, again, down here, green buy signal, trend meter is green, take a buy right there, full TP. So basically what I'd be looking for here is I'd be looking for the retracement. And then when it comes back up, then I'll take the buy there and I'll just re-enter it for another buy. It's basically the same concept. Same with, I don't know, what else am I looking at here? Nothing else here is really that strong aside from, well, silver here is super bullish. So if we were to, or USD CAD as well, it's very bullish. So we probably want to sell this. So if I looked up USD CAD, and it's right there, I already missed it. It happened like an hour ago. So again, right here, it would be running to full TP at that point. So, you know, maybe I'll just play around with this and then I'll, where's that? I'm trying to find the order window. So not that you guys should know this, I'm just testing it. So I'm gonna take this here again. I'll see if it ends up hitting. All right, so I'll come back to this at some point and we'll see later today if it hits its TP, which it probably will. I mean, it's not that difficult, it's really simple. It's literally just applying the same concepts that we use for US30 on these forex pairs. What else is here? Gold. Like gold is super bullish. So if you're to trade gold here, I'd be looking for sells only on gold. And you can see it's already in profit. So my account here, I'm already in profit off that USD CAD trade. So gold, XA, USD. I would be looking for a sell here. So I would want this to close with that buy signal right there. And then after that, I'd look for the sell signal and I'll just catch it on its way back down. The reason for that is because gold is currently 82% bullish. So majority of retail traders are buying gold. I would do the opposite. I would sell it. So, I mean, it's been pretty bearish for a while now. Like, for example, there was another sell entry right here. And this, if you took that, your stop loss would be right here at 650. So 650, 650. And then you can see that it would hit TP right there. So you're basically just entering these intraday trades. You place your stop loss at the previous swing, and then you just write it down at TP right there. So it's not too difficult. I mean, it's a really easy strategy. I'll probably be looking for another sell over here as well. As why does it keep doing that? But yeah, I mean, it's something that I've been testing, but it's not really anything new because we're applying the strategy. We're just like, the strategy has been there. It's not like the strategy hasn't been here for like 7 years now. We've been using the strategy for like 7 years. It's not a new strategy. It's just you're using the confluence to know which direction to trade in. So you're applying the same intraday strategy, which is the very first K2 strategy that I developed for myself and for you guys to utilize. This strategy has been around for like since before K2 has even started. The only thing that we're adding is the bias here. So as long as you have the bias, you just trade in the direction of the bias, and then odds are it's probably going to hit. So yeah, if you guys want to play around with it, feel free. And there you go. My trade here is in profit, the USD CAD that I just took earlier. I entered late, but I'm just going to exit at the profit target down here if and when it does reach that point. So back to a US30, price is still pushing up pretty heavy right here. I think this thing will tumble pretty hard a little later. I think for right now, as she speaks, price will keep pushing up. Then it's just going to make a correction back to the downside, you know, later on today. So Ross is asking, hey, Sean, new here. Hey, Ross, how's it going? Can you address the high, low, and low? Yeah, so that's just the K2 high, low indicator. So if you're looking for that indicator there, you just turn on the K2 high low. So in order to get that, you would just go to indicators, go to invite only scripts. It'll be called K2 high low indicator. And that's pretty much what the indicator is. It's pretty self-explanatory. All it does is it identifies where the swing highs and swing lows are. So, the HH will stand for higher high, LH stands for lower high, lower low stands for, or LL stands for lower low. And the HL stands for higher low. So it's pretty self-explanatory. If you want me to go like into detail, like with what you need, if you need a deeper explanation in it or with it, just, let me know. But that's pretty much how you'd find it. And that's basically what it's used for. And this indicator is implemented with, a number of different strategies, varying from the variations to the high-low scalps to the liquidity pushes as well. So professor's asking 1 hour time frame. You just have it set to same as chart, professor. Same thing as we've had before. You just have it set to the same as chart. PC is asking, what are the good times of the day to trade this strategy? It's an intraday strategy, so you can take it whenever. You don't have to take it during a certain time. It's just whenever an entry appears. It's basically a set and forget strategy that you would take. There we go with our USD CAD. It's in profit, pretty nice. It's getting close to the profit target. And you guys can see here, it's actually really nice. If you can trade directly off TradingView, it makes a huge difference because you don't have to go between MT4 and whatnot. You can literally just take a trade on there and then let it run. So hopefully FTMO or other companies hop onto TradingView so that we can trade directly on here. Because this is what everyone uses to chart anyways. Let me scroll down a little further. Professor's asking, how do you determine? So if you guys are not familiar with like the intraday strategy, you guys just need to go back and watch the video. That's the very first video that's on there. But just to let you guys know, you place it at the previous swing. So you enter right there on the entry point, you place your stop loss at the previous swing, and then you have your TP at the same distance away. Pretty simple. It's a 1-to-1, and the strategy hits pretty often. So it's not really, you can take like literally every entry and then you should probably fine as long as you identify it properly. So let's see. Swelly said, how is the momentum signal so accurate? It's crazy. I know, right? That's the whole reason I created it, to identify momentum. But yeah, no, it is super accurate. And this trade's looking good. I might have to start taking this on my live account because these are pretty good trades. And they're very easy. Like, for example, here, the bias here for USD CAD has been sell for so long. You could have taken any sell here. Like you could have taken the sell there, full TP. You could have taken the sell right there, full TP. Could have taken the sell right here, full TP. Literally all of these would have hit full TP if you took any of these trades here. And this one over here, obviously I expected to hit full TP too. If it doesn't hit full TP, then it's fine. Because if you're trading for a 1-to-1 and you're risking 1 to 3%, it's fine because you'll bounce back. If you lose one trade, you'll win the other. So that's how it's applied. So let me scroll down further. Yeah, no, definitely slowly. Maria said, can you share the link to that sentiment? Yeah, sure. Let me get that link for you guys here. Here, guys, I'll post it in the Zoom chat. There you go. So if you guys look at the Zoom chat, you'll have this whole list of sentiment here. It pretty much has like all of the pairs here that people trade. So depending on like what you guys want to trade, you guys can easily just find them here. Yes, well, for the TP stop loss, you would just set your stop loss at the previous swing, and then your TP would be equal distance away. Hey, Sam. Yeah, Sam said, hey, Sean, EJ hit 94 pips yesterday. Yeah, it did hit full TP, Sam. So I marked it up right here. I don't know if you were in the chat yesterday, but I did mark it up right here. And it was funny because me and Sam, I think it was us, right? Sam, we were talking about this yesterday. Or I don't know if it was somebody else, but someone else was talking to me about this. They're like, hey, Sean, what do you think of EJ? And I said, oh, I'm actually in that position. They're like, oh, I'm in that position too. So we both took the position. And I was like, okay, we're just going to let it run and see if it hits TP. And it did, went straight to TP right there. So we actually talked about this. This was right at the end of the live session yesterday. I took it after the live session. I just let it run and then it went straight to TP. And then I locked it a total profit of, I don't know, 700 or so. Professor's asking, Sean, I want to make sure I understand the intraday strategy. Are you saying that it's in the back? Yes, it is. It's the very, if you go back here, let me show you guys. This isn't a new strategy, guys. This strategy is literally the very first strategy that we, that I would teach you guys. Like before when we had only one, man, what the, this mouse is annoying. It keeps, sorry guys. It keeps zooming out like that. Anyways, let me pull it up over here. So it's the intraday strategy that I'm applying, guys. If you guys go over here and just look at the back, look at the course, you guys will see here, it's called the intraday strategy. So if you scroll down, it's right here, KT Trades official intraday strategy. The strategy's been here for like 7 years. It's just a lot of people don't look at these strategies. Like people think just because the strategy's down here, it doesn't work anymore. This strategy's been working probably better than everything else. This is the only strategy that I've really tested. I've tested this years and years and years back. This is what created K2. Like before there was a variation, before there was anything, there was only one indicator, which was this momentum signal and the trend meter. And this strategy was the only strategy we used for years. The only reason things changed, or things didn't really change, it's just that we started to find new strategies. But you know, I always get people who ask, you know, are these old strategies still relevant? And I mean, they're pretty relevant because you can see that they're still working here perfectly fine right here. So my USD CAD looks like it's about to hit full TP right here. You know, all the strategies that I create, guys, I don't create shitty strategies, right? Every strategy I create has been tested far enough where it's going to continue to work all year round. These are all year-round strategies. It's not like seasonal where you can only use it during certain time periods. I feel like nobody scrolls down far enough to look at these older strategies here, but these all still work perfectly fine. The intraday strategy, the momentum strategy, everything here works fine. It's just during these live sessions, we're only on this live session for like 2 hours or less than 2 hours. So we have to scalp because we don't have time to take intraday entries during these sessions. So there we go. My USD CAD that I took earlier looks like it's about to hit the full TP. I'll let it run and then later I'll give you guys an update if and when it does hit, which I do think it will hit. It's just going to be a matter of time. But yeah, if you guys haven't looked at the strategies in a while, just go back and review them if you really want to. They all work perfectly fine. It's just, you just got to go back and actually look at them and try them yourself. So other than that, let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Let's see, next question over here is from, so Kevin said, with the way price is pushing up, when it retraces, it's going to be an opportunity to lock in some serious profits. And I agree too. Kevin, let me check real quick to see what the sentiment, there's actually no sentiment right now though for US30. So I don't even know if it'll come down that heavy after. I mean, maybe it will, maybe it won't. But if the sentiment here was a lot higher, then yeah, I would for sure take that sell as it came back down, but it's not really there. So I don't think I would take that drop back to the bottom. Or I mean, we can take the liquidity pushes if the liquidity does build up. But it looks like volatility has kind of died down here a bit. Let me see what else I'm missing over here. Let me scroll down. Kevin said, I have a Wanda account that I trade currencies with from time to time. I want to let you trade on TradingView. Oh, nice. That's cool, Kevin. Yeah, I used to trade on forex.com. They're about the same thing, so I don't think there'd be much difference for that. Let's see. Randy said pending 10-minute V3 on US30. I don't see a V3 here, Randy. Or maybe it just swung up. So maybe that's what happened. Swung up in the last 2 minutes. I see a V1 here though. So I could see a V1 here. The only problem with these is that we don't have an overall bias, or no longer V1 because price looks like it broke above it. So just a reminder, guys, looking over here at the V1 or any variation for all that matters. You want to confirm the overall bias. Looking over here at the retail sentiment, there's no bias because it's currently at 51% long. In order for us to have a bias here, we need retail sentiment to be about 60 to 65% or more in one direction. So without that, we don't have a bias here. The fundamental bias here, there's also no fundamental bias here at all either. It's currently 67 points in the green. So going back over here, there's no retail sentiment, there's no fundamental bias. Technical bias here is bullish, but everything else here is neutral. So with that said, there's no bias and we can't take any trades until we do have that, because that's going to be the first requirement over here. I gotta fix this mouse, guys. Sorry, I'm gonna fix it tonight or today. I have to probably restart my computer. Oh, it keeps doing that. I'm trying to figure out what's causing it to do that. I don't know. This mouse is kind of old. Now my mouse is dead. Yeah. So weird. The mouse isn't even dead. Sorry, guys. Let me. It's time for a new mouse. No, it's not the battery. It's still blinking. It's on. It's weird. Just started having issues today. Yeah, the battery's full. Oh, man, crap. Okay, sorry guys. My mouse just died on me. I gotta use my trackpad now. So I'm using my trackpad here, but I can't really move as fast. I gotta figure out how to fix my mouse later. It's so weird. Turn it off. Charles said, not trying to FOMO, so I'm out. Yeah, I mean, it's about to be 8 right now, so we're gonna log off anyways, guys. All right, so I gotta fix this mouse after this live session. There we go. Or not. Or I'll choose the trackpad for now. Anyways, let's see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. I'm just gonna answer whatever questions we have, and then we're gonna wrap it up for the day, guys. It's getting close to 8, so we're gonna be closing out this session shortly. So question from PC, he's asking, did you say the bias should be 70% plus for the strategy? Yeah. Typically you want it to be as high as possible, because when you're trading intraday, you want to make sure that the bias isn't going to change. Like, it's not going to change like tomorrow, right? Or it's not going to change like within a couple hours or so. You want to make sure that it's going to be relevant for the remainder of your trade. So yeah, you want it to be about 70% or higher. That's why you only pick like certain ones here. Like if you look over here, there's only a couple that are that high or that low. But when you do find it, typically it's going to be a good trade. So there we go. My trade here is still running. It's probably going to take a while because it's going to it's an intraday trade, so it's probably going to take all day. Anyways, anything over here? Kim's asking, does anyone remember what one lot is equal to per pip for forex pairs on FTMO? I took 3 for 3 yesterday without signals. I don't recommend doing that, but I was just testing it on my forex account. So I think one lot, well, I think they use standard lots for forex. Kim, actually, I take that back. I've never traded forex on FTMO, so I'm not sure, but I'm assuming they use standard lots. So I think one lot is equal to a 10 lot on US30. So it's like $100 per pip. That's what I'm, or 10 bucks per pip, sorry, 10 bucks per pip. So the standard lots are normal. It's $10 a pip if you're using a standard, which is a 1.01. That's what I think. I mean, don't quote me on it. You'd probably be able to figure out if you took like a tester trade. If you just take one trade, like a one lot, and then if it moves X amount, then it's going to be $1 per pip. But it also depends on the asset too. So you want to keep in mind that that's for major pairs. Major pairs, it's $10 a pip. For minors, it's going to be less. So if you're trading something like odd NZD, it's going to be less. If you're trading something like EJ, it's probably going to be more. So they're not all going to be the same, but typically it's going to be around like 10 bucks a pair. I mean, 10 bucks a pip on the one lot. Yeah, no, exactly, Sam. Sam said it's the first strategy you would look for when identifying triple confluence. Yep. Peter said use a smaller lot for the intraday compared to US30 scalps. I use a one lot, Peter. So it's basically, I mean, it's basically the same for the most part. But forex is different. So like the thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that forex can move a whole lot, and you're not going to get like a huge fluctuation in price. It's not like US30 where you'll take a trade and then 2 seconds later you're like negative draw to 1,000. You're going to be in a trade for forex, and it'll, you know, the back and forth is going to take some time. So it's not as volatile. So I use basically about the same lot size, but realistically it's like less because it doesn't move as fast. All right, Jessica, we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, no problem, PC. No problem, Kim. Professor said UJ sentiment is above 70. Yeah, I was looking at UJ earlier too, Professor, but there's no entry for UJ right now. So I marked it up right here. Basically looking for it to come down. We need a retracement signal. And then when I see it pull up for a buy, then I would take it just like it came up right here. So that's what I'd be looking for. But all right, guys, it's 8 o'clock. So if you guys have any other questions, you know, feel free to email me or message me on Telegram. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow for the next live session, and we'll be back to rerun this per usual. Just a reminder, we're having our mentoring session tomorrow, same time, 2 p.m. Pacific. So if you guys have any questions, you know, just line them up and we'll go over them in detail. If you guys want me to cover the intraday strategy more in detail, we'll do that. I think it's a pretty fun thing to cover because this is going to show you guys a strategy that you guys can basically just set and forget, which I think is probably the second best way to trade aside from US30 in the mornings, because for US30, it's nice and it's, you know, it's a bit stressful, but for these set and forget strategies, you kind of just take them and you just let them run. You know, I'm just paper trading here on my trading view just to, you know, obviously play around with it. But you can see that it's like all the trade that I've taken here have all hit full TP. So, I mean, it's going to look pretty promising. If that's the case, then I'm probably just going to set up an account on like a personal account for myself, and I'll just be taking trades and letting them run. Because it's a no-brainer, right? I might as well, because I can take these trades on the side while still trading US30 in the morning. And this is something that you can just set and forget. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. If you guys have to trade, then, you know, just be very careful, because I think Yellen is still speaking right now. Volatility has died down crazy, but she is still talking. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, other than that, I think that's about it. Yeah, no, and Fahad here as well. He said, just remember that for FTMO, you still have to close your trades by the end of day unless you have a swing account. Oh, and it's good to know too, Fahad. That's the reason why I don't trade it on my FTMO, because I don't want to be caught with violating that requirement. So thanks, Fahad, for the reminder. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow. So have a great rest of the morning, guys. And if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the chat. So catch